bucka. Ha ha. You know the deal. This is me, though. Beats by Supremo for all of my people, Negroes and Latinos, and even the gringos. Yo, check it, 1 for Charlie Hustle, 2 for Steady Rock, 3 for the forthcoming live future shot. It's 5 dimensions, 6 senses, 7 firmaments of heaven and hell, 8 million stories to tell, 9 planets faithfully keep an orbit with the probable 10. The universe expands length, the body of my text possess extra strength. Power lifted, powerless, up out of this tower and inferno. My ink so hot it burned through the journal. I'm blacker than midnight on Broadway and Myrtle. Hip hop passed all your tall social hurdles like the nationwide projects, prison industry complex. Working class poor, better keep your alarm set. Streets too loud to ever hear freedom ring. Say evacuate your sleep. It's dangerous to dream, but your chin cats get they chip back. You dead now. Killing fields need blood to graze the cash cow. It's a numbers game, but shit don't add up somehow. Like I got 16 to 32 bars to rock it, but only 15% of profits. Ever seen my pockets like 69 billion in the last 20 years spent on national defense, but folks still live in fear like nearly half of America's largest cities is 1/4 black. That's why they gave Ricky Ross all the crap. 16 ounces to a pound, 20 more to a key. A 5-minute sentence here and then you no longer free. 40% of Americans own a cell phone so they can hear everything that you say when you ain't home. I guess Michael Jackson was right. You are not alone. Rock your hard hat black as you in the terror dome full of hard niggas, large niggas, dice tumblers, young teens in prison greens facing life numbers, crack mothers, crack babies, and AIDS patients. Young bloods can't spell, but they can rock you a PlayStation. Snoop Mathers whipping motherfuckers' ass. You wanna know how to rhyme? You better learn how to add. It's mathematics.
The mighty most deaf.
It's simple mathematics. Check it out. I'll revolve around science.
What are we talking about here?
The mighty most deaf.
It's simple mathematics. Check it out. I'll revolve around science.
What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here?
Yo, it's one universal law, but 2 sides to every story. 3 strikes and you bitten for life. Mandatory. 4 MCs murdered in the last 4 years. I ain't trying to be the 5th when the millennium is here. Yo, it's 6 million ways to die. From the 7 deadly thrills. 80-year-olds getting found with 9 mils. It's 10 p.m. where your C's at. What's the deal? They on the hill pumping grills to keep their bellies filled. Lighting the ass with heavy steel. Sights on the pretty shit in life. Young soldiers trying to earn their next strike. When the average minimum wage is $5.15, you best believe you gotta find a new grind to get cream. The white unemployment rate is nearly more than triple for black. So frontliners got their gun in your back. Bumble and crack, jewel theft and robbery to combat poverty and end up in the global jail economy. Stiffer stipulations attached to each sentence. Budget cutbacks but increased police presence. And even if you get out of prison, still living, join the other 5 million under state supervision. This is business. No faces, just lines and statistics from your phone, your zip code, the SSI digits. The system break man, channeling women in the figures. 2 columns for who is and who ain't niggas. Numbers is hard and real and they never have feelings, but you push too hard, even numbers got limits. Why did one straw break the camel's back? Here's the secret. The million other straws underneath it. It's all mathematics.
The mighty most deaf.
It's simple mathematics. Check it out. I'll revolve around science.
What are we talking about here?
The mighty most deaf.
It's simple mathematics. Check it out. I'll revolve around science.
What are we talking about here?
Mathematics.
A to the blunt, save the liquor for my nigga day. I represent the original head, killing the original dead. Oh yeah, that's my nigga J. Blowing the spot, blah. Fuck the Philly 5, got the Dutch buckshot, got the cola pal. Check my dialect from my diaphragm. You got your 9 by your waistline, and me and my niggas don't give a damn. We got the Bucktown boot camp attitude, killer man. Timberland make me general. Roughneck wow, big him up now. Bob Marley style, cheek chong style, like the bong style. That's like at night, pumping the L by the river now. I smoke so much like I hallucinate. Ill visions in my head, everybody must be dead. Killing everything in your sight. Up in the morning, I wake up in the evening. Check the blah supply, I'm feeling the vibe from the rhythm and the soul. I pack a 20 sack and watch a nigga fold. Don't you hate niggas who make records for bitches? It's all about the blunts. Fuck them stunts now. What you want is what you get, like make it E. Bitch, bend over, blow me so I can feel the breeze. Giving my enemies time to recollect on the past. When I bust that ass, space took the check. Figure I'll get bigger when I lose my reaper. Knock your head, plus knock the shred, all by your dead. We be I and I be we, cause we be family. Buckshot, 5 MC and Evil D. T to the R-E-V, and the M to the E-E-C-H-E. All my niggas in the place to be. Can I get the amen? Amen. C-B-B. Your millimeter. I eat a sucker duck and see the smoke blunts by the centimeter. Greater way to serve the nigga on the curb. I love my niggas, so my niggas pump herb. Now my niggas throw your blunts in the air like this. Original crooks never get this. If we get this, niggas get that. To the back, 5 where you at? Right here. Another mission to be dissing. And who do I be dissing? Bitches, God, fuck the intermission. It's about killing the nigga, the one playing the bigger, the one playing the sucker ducks with my trigger. I feel the pump coming on in the sex, sun party on the rack. Fuck that, time to break it now. Killing everything in sight. 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 Killing everything in sight.
Yeah, hey. Check 1, 2, hey, yeah. Check 2. Check 1, 2. Yeah, hey. Yep. Check. Check. I'm a choo-choo. I'm a choo-choo train. Choo-choo. I'm a choo-choo train. Check 1, 2. Yeah, hey. Good, Mike? As I say that right to the microphone. He's learning. Welcome to another episode of Onyx Talks Quesadilla Edition. We're here tonight at Onyx. Yo, props to the staff. Props to everybody who came out. And props to our musical guest tonight, who is Livid. Yeah, we're going to do it a little loose tonight, but it's going to be fun. Following all COVID rules, everything like that. And yeah, we're here to sit down and have a nice talk and get to know Livid a bit. So without further ado, here's a nice performance. What? Wow. Give it up one more time for Livid music. Jesus, that was an awesome set. Can't wait to sit down and talk with you. And yeah, we'll be right back after a quick little break. Go get your smokes, go get some drinks, go to the bathroom, you know, whatever. Then we'll come back and have a nice little chat. Once again, thanks, Sir Livid. And yeah, this is Onyx Talks. We'll see y'all in a bit.
One, two, two, two. Keep your mind on your mask, kid. Horror form classic, it's drastic. Filling the hydrochloric acid, splashed it. Pull a knob, reached and blasted. Pow. Pinstripes on a basket. New York style, wow. Shutter grab easy. It's only entertainment though, when thought out completely. Sad demeanor could get him the dropping bag cleaner. Master schemer, expert in that arena, puffin' Pasadena. He read the grass was greener. Black beamer, IH gyrate, rubbing shoulders with pigs who don't fly straight. Just ate, causing indigestion. Will soon regurgitate into profits, no question. Nosy agents sniffing around. Pay attention, you can take that to the bank. Thanks, don't mention it. Pleasure's all mine. Ain't mad at y'all. Clear advantage like playing paddleball on Adderall. Be great, that is all. Aight, one more rhyme. Self-snitching rappers with lines, pure pork rhymes.
Hey, yo, it's after midnight. It's after midnight.
I can understand it. Be the beat bandit who bring heat for the mic, unhanded. Whoever go after burn their hands and lips. A lot of rappers ran and abandoned their whips. It's just another day in the dunya. Don't leave your girl around B, he might sooner. I'm under the window serenader like a crooner. Stay ahead of the game and cut her off sooner rather later. Use her to cavitator. Scoop her in the butter soft boom roof navigator. Or the land, or the legs, or the beds. 116th by the hour from the Africans. But they won't let you push them. One tried to get fly, I almost had to mush him. If I wanted to rob him, I would've wore a mask. Hit him with the phone, took the dough and told ass. Want not, waste not, front not. They didn't see him dip into the 50-cent blunt spot. People walk the town with space boots, space suits. Fucked up cut, but she still say his face cute. Told the streets what you staring at. The sewer cap opened up and said, why you wearing that? He said, oh, you wanna snap? Piss face, the way you be in everybody's business is a disgrace. At the park gates, hard, who goes there? It's Feed, the MC, who's nasty as nose here. You may go, he said you should have been say so. Tipped him in cash in Argentinian peso. There you go, my good man. Buy something nice for the seed. And please keep it moving twice the speed. Consider that your fair warn, or else I'll bring it to you express like airborne. Born, drop a turn on the beat and shout out that little word from the word on the street. He right Vic in a sick demented hand style and go bombing with a chick who whipped the rented van wild. All he say is you nuts. You really had enough of poop butts and crew cuts. Soup's on, and I got a coupon. Chinese restaurant asking for the great coupon. He said no, duck sauce, soy sauce. And this ain't no Burger King, so you don't get no toy, boss. Uh-oh, it's bare o'clock, I think I'm sober. How about we think this over a can of King Cobra? You ain't nicer than the lunatic shyster, aka the Vicster or the Vic Meister. He wonder should he get a baldy or keep his edge up V-shaped like Mama Waldy. That is the question. They wonder why he always wear hats in the session. Listen up, new drink, named it after Chong daughter. Triple shot of yak with the chaser of bong water. Be a strong supporter. Triple shot of yak with the chaser of bong water. Told by the oldest, from straight out the womb. The first thing he noticed was the 808 boom, doom. Not from the earth like Mummy Smurf. If you ain't no ventriloquist, then what's the dummy worth? There was a time when there was no fake gun clapping, rapping happening. Let me know when they done yapping. Ever since the born age, survived on rage. Dues paid on a real stage like the steel cage. The iron sheik told you who's the all. The power of your thought can shape a cube into a ball. Instead of plugged into the tube through the wall. Stop and follow your heart, you might avoid the fall. Only the best will stand the test of time. I take this more serious than just a rhyme. Wanna learn the G, pay the fee. This one goes out to the one sub rock KMD, and you don't quit. Eating Captain Crunch for lunch, don't get your panties in the bunch. Shorty passed out, he could've put the whammy in the punch. Out of your hunch, he could get set up like Juan Cosby, sliding off with 3 snowflakes like Tom Bosley. Remember Charlie's Angels? You had to make some changes. 3 broads with burners, these days can get dangerous. Dudes you never see will forever remain nameless. 2 of them things black, last one stainless. Don't deal with the devil on a deep level. You see metal and sound off like a tea kettle. Throw the spot up lovely, with no reference to skin color. God don't like ugly. Wise man once said not to showboat. Treat the yacht the same way as the rowboat. Snakes will hang themselves with their own rope. And watch a jewel transform to a known quote.
Oh, yeah. No, it's all good. Welcome back to Onyx Talks. We're here with Livid Music. That was an awesome set, man. Very cool.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Very cool. Yeah, man. I like, yeah, we're just going to keep it nice and casual today, you know, like, just like your music. So, what got you into, you know, DJing and stuff? I guess you started out with just DJing, or was it always like your setup you have now?
It's pretty unorthodox, really. It actually started with music production. All the beats I made that I played just now are originals. And yeah, a buddy here in town showed me the software, and I really got into it. But then I was like, I have all these songs. How do I showcase them? How do I present them in a way that kind of gets people captivated and it's just a little bit more fun than just listening to it in the kitchen, right?
Yep.
And I was like, okay, DJing fills that gap, or like a live performance, so to speak. And it's definitely the best way to present it.
Yeah, the way that you've really, you know, mastered your craft of that. It's like, you know, I'm sure that a lot of us listen to, you know, a lot of beats, right? Especially if you're like working or something. But the way that you've like been able to capture making your beat live, especially like I know sometimes I think I've seen you with the bass guitar and stuff like that. Like that's really cool. What made you even keep branching out more and like, you know, expanding the craft that you're doing, right? Because it's like I feel like you're always pushing yourself to that next boundary.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that acknowledgement, really. You know, if you're gonna do anything, just try to do it the best of your ability.
Yeah,
and I believe you're a beat maker as well on your off time.
Way back in the day, yeah. I don't really make beats that much anymore unless I'm just like kind of messing around or something.
Yeah.
I'm more just a band guy now, but yeah, I love beats. Like,
I mean, then it goes without saying that this craft is quite the learning curve, especially if you want to take it to new heights. And this past, like, I don't know, I've been doing this for about 6 years now, and it's just been a battle of like learning the software, and then it's like, oh, okay, now I know what these buttons do, and then it's like, well, what do I actually want to make, you know?
Yep. What software do you use, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I use Ableton Live.
Nice. Yeah.
It's pretty industry standard. I'm really lucky. It was the first software I ever used. There's tons of them out there: Fruity Loops, Logic,
Reason.
Yeah, Reason, Pro Tools. Like they're all really good. But Ableton kind of just like spoke to me in the sense of it's a sandbox software.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, for people who don't understand, is what can you make in a sandbox? Anything you want, right? And that's the kind of style of software it is. And yeah, so I've just been trying to make music that I would want to listen to.
I like that. That's
Right?
exactly what it is. Then you get your friends involved because obviously your friend group listens to similar type of music, or maybe since they're your friend group, they have the same mindset to be exposed to new music, which I always think is cool. Like,
Yeah.
getting my hip hop head friends into metal is always fun. Like, you know, stuff like that. So is like, as you're diving into Ableton more and more, like, I don't know that much about Ableton. I just know that it's like great for, the exact stuff you're doing. Have you dabbled in any other programs, or you just stick strictly to that?
I've pretty much sticked exclusively to Ableton. It does everything I need to do, and I mean, there's no need to branch out.
Yeah.
It's like it's like asking an artist what canvas do they buy. I mean, to some degree, it's a canvas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's about what you do inside the canvas that really matters.
I like that. In terms of like, let's say shows and stuff, like, I mean, obviously with COVID, there hasn't been that many shows, but you were doing some shows before. I believe you did, like, you know, I've seen you at a Bang Out, one of those art events that were happening in Guelph, where you get to, you know, showcase your art and do an art piece in 3 hours. I saw you there. And then obviously at Gain Fest, I think it was year 9 I saw you. Which, it was run by Gain Media and Nick Weaver. Any like memorable moments and stuff like when you're performing that like, you know, really stands out to you or anything like that?
I think the best compliment I get here and there is that my music's taste and my style of production isn't generic, so to speak.
Yep.
Or I had one guy tell me that it's very hard to breathe life into electronic music.
Yep.
And yeah, right. And and I've spent a lot of time practicing that. Memorable moments. Gainfest was super fun. I tried to cater the live performance to engage the audience. So for a section of the show, I got my sampler here, and I got random people to come up and just like yell into a microphone or do whatever into a microphone, and then I chopped that up and kind of like made a beat on the spot with it.
It's insane.
Yeah, it was,
even to think about, like, mind warped.
It's really fun, and even just the other night, getting people into music that never knew they wanted to get into music.
Yeah.
The tools here at our disposal nowadays are so amazing and accessible and cheap to some degree that anyone really can pick it up, and bridging that gap for someone who may not know the language is like seeing the sparkles in someone's eyes, and you're like, oh,
Exactly.
like I can see the 5-year-old you being like, whoa, what does this do?
Which is exactly the feeling you got when you were figuring it out, I guess, right?
Exactly,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's awesome. What else is like, when you're saying that, it's like, I find it, I don't know how you feel about it, but you know how like a lot of music now has become, I don't want to, it's not mundane, but it's a lot of like pop things, I find. Like, you know, you have rock bands now that come out that I don't even know if they're actually playing instruments or not. Maybe they're just like, you know, having beats and stuff. So for you to stand out, is it like something you really want to do to be different, or is it just like, you know, your own personality that's coming through in your music?
One thing I've been realizing over the past, again, few years I've been doing this, is that the workflow you bestow into your work and how you actually get the result, the process, so to speak, that heavily dictates the end product you create. So for example, if I was making hip hop, right, there's a very specific way I would make hip hop, as opposed to like an EDM or like an electronic track. And what I started to realize is like, well, what if I wanted to make an electronic track but with the style of hip hop? So I started mixing those. Like, what if I chopped up a sample but then made a dance song? Or like, what if I wrote chords and then made a hip hop song, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not traditional. And so the process is really something to experiment with, and of course the gear at your disposal. For the most part, I'm just in the box, so to speak, like just my computer. I don't, and I kind of like it that way because, you know, I can be on a bus making a song that sounds production club ready, and that's really powerful. It's a music revolution for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think that maybe, you know, in terms of like making your beats and creating your beats for either a home atmosphere or a club atmosphere, is there a way that you go about mixing, or is it just like something now that you're pretty sure on what you're doing all the time?
Again, I'm sure you know, mixing is a mountain to hurdle, and there has been many nights of me being like, I don't trust my judgment.
Yep.
So it still is to this day a struggle. The best I can do is like make a beat and be like, okay, what does my song sound like in comparison back to back to a song that I like?
Yep.
And then what does that sound like in the car? What does my sound like in a car? What does it sound like on this phone, laptop, shitty speaker, right? All of those things I'm trying to like balance and match. And it's a very like
It's a forever thing. Like, even,
forever
you know,
thing.
there's something you said which is huge, which a lot of people don't see or even talk about, is bouncing your songs off songs that you know and listening to them on different speakers. You know, now everybody goes out and buys like KRKs or something like that, and then you're just listening to that, but it doesn't really translate to everything because you haven't tested on anything. So
Yeah.
being humble enough to, like, you know, bounce your ideas back and forth off your own stuff, it's like, yeah, it's spoken like a true producer, let's say.
It's funny, man. Some of my oldest songs, you know, I made them and I was like, I didn't have the right gear. I didn't have any knowledge. Like, everything is like in the red, clipping.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
just terrible. But I knew the speakers I was listening to because I only had one set of speakers. So I listened to normal music on them. And it really doesn't even matter if you have expensive speakers or not. It's more just, do you know what a normal song sounds like on those speakers?
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way of putting it. So as a producer, do you like when you're going to work with an artist, you're working with artists and stuff, is there a certain way you approach that? Or is it like almost the exact same way as you're talking about how you produce your own music, you know? If you have somebody else on top of your music, is it you look at it differently or?
Yeah, this part I'm pretty solo, just of the nature of me, and like this art isn't really for anyone but me first.
Yep.
But I mean, if you made an amazing painting, you kind of want to show people at least once, right? So there's that aspect. But in terms of like pulling in another artist, I let them almost take more of the reins. Now I know like I'm supposed to be the bridge of technological and the artist, so to speak. I'm kind of like the mediator in that sense. So I take that responsibility. But for the most part, like when you make a beat, you're trying to complement a vocalist or a musician.
Exactly.
It's not really, you're not trying to like make them fit in your piece. You're trying to make your piece fit with them because you have more control than what they're doing in a sense. They might only sing one way, but
yeah. So you're saying you're trying to be more like a Dre and not like a DJ Khaled, like, you know, where it's like Khaled at the beginning. You're like, oh, is it a Khaled? Oh, it's Khaled featuring something.
I'm still trying to figure out my tagline that I can just spray all over my beats, so people are like, "Oh, that's a Livid song."
I feel like that's what makes it official, right? It's like when you're like, "Oh, Livid on the track," you're like, oh, "Okay, yeah." It's like this guy has made it.
That's pretty much it. I need that like Jay Dilla's signature horn.
There you go. Do you so I mean, obviously you have a very unique style. You know, the way you dress. You know, does that come into like, is that, again, it's just you being you and that complements your music, it complements your style? I see your crew sitting here. You guys obviously have very unique style. You got this to that to muscles.
Yes, muscles. I'm so glad. You know, like, this is me, 100%.
Yeah.
And like, why would I want to fake it? It's like way more effort to just fake a personality.
Yep.
I got too much crap going on to keep up with that stuff. I guess if I was to sum up like my music in a couple of sentences, it would just be like groovy, emotional, lots of emotions, and just like I really try to nail the vibe, you know? Like when I make a song, I really try to focus on where can I see this, you know? And some of my songs are like ballads.
Yep.
Some of my songs are just straight like banger type things, right? But like it's good to address what it is really quickly, because then you lean into it hard.
Exactly.
And then you give it its purpose, right? It's so easy to kind of like throw together too many ideas.
Yep.
Yeah, so for me, like when I sit down and I like make a beat, there's a few things that go through my head. What am I feeling? What is the music making me feel? And how can I present it in a way that's like interesting to me as well as like a listener? Because if I can't vibe to it, no one's gonna vibe
Exactly.
to it, right?
Exactly. Nobody's gonna care. So when you're sitting down with the beats and stuff, is it something that like comes to you? How do I try to say this? Is it like, you know, when you sit down for a beat, is it something that you do on a regular basis, as it's like a science, like every day at 2:00 I am sitting down to do this? Or is it like something that like, oh, I just feel like making a beat and it just comes to you, it's like spews out, mixture of both?
I would love to say that I'm like disciplined and regimented, and every Sunday at 3:00 I have my tea and I make a beat. But a lot of the times it's like when I do that regiment and I sit down, I have all this pressure. I'm like, oh, I got to do something, and nothing really comes out. Most of my ideas are like 3 a.m. after like hanging with the guys, half in the bag with a spliff, and I'm just like, I want to make a beat, and then it becomes like the coolest thing I ever made.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said about the discipline, because this is an art and a craft, and it is a muscle, and you need to hone it, because like lagging and being stagnant on your thoughts will not get you anywhere. You have to be in the flow state, and again, you have to assess quickly if like an idea is worth even continuing.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of like crumpled up pieces of paper, so to speak, thrown behind me being like, no, garbage, or like, I don't like this. But what the cool part about this art is that, I'll make a hip hop beat. I don't like the vibe, but I have the drums.
Yeah.
The drums they're banging, they're hot. And I'm like, okay, well, I can just plug and play bass lines, chord progressions. All of a sudden, whoa, this is it. This fits, right?
Yeah.
And then I can keep going. So nothing really is garbage. It's just about using
Where do you place it?
Yeah, or knowing like what is good to keep and what you're throwing away.
I definitely like that answer. That's really good. You also do vinyl printing, I hear? Or? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Is that something like that you do for people, or is it just like yourself, or what?
When you like vinyl as in graphics, right? Are we?
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what I meant.
Okay, I just want to. Are we talking like records? Okay. my main gig is I'm a graphic designer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is kind of cool mixing those two realms where it's like, oh, I made this sweet noise and I hope people like it, but people also like visuals. So I'm like, all right, well, let's make a visual for it.
Does it make it? I guess it's easier then. So you do your own stuff, like obviously you do your own graphics and everything like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wicked.
Not having it in house is so easy. I'm kind of a stickler for releasing stuff. I'm like everything I've played. 50% of it so far has been unreleased,
Yep.
and there's no reason for me not to release it. I'm just kind of like, well, I'll get around to
Emotional
it.
artist. I get that.
I'm not like in the traditional sense where I'm like, no one see it. It's just like I need to get off my ass and throw it on Spotify or something.
Sometimes you're just not ready to release something, right? As an
Yeah.
artist, like I've sat on stuff for years. Like,
I sit on the art more,
Yeah.
where I'm like, the song's done, but the art.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you do so with your graphic design stuff too? Do you do services for other musicians, or is it just strictly like corporate, or?
It's a family business, so it is a 9 to 5. I do like a wide range of stuff, ranging from like stickers on a laptop to I think I did some banners for you and Nick.
Probably.
Yeah. and I'm a freelancer, so like if there's work, I'll take it. If I think I can like add value to what you want, like I'll provide it. But
So if somebody wanted to get at you, do they get at you through Livid Music on Instagram, or how do they find you for like graphic design stuff?
yeah, Instagram as well. So just livid.music. That's my handle on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I have like a link tree up that links all like my music, as well as like a short bio of what I can provide value wise. And for the most part, I'm just a local dude having fun with music and trying to get better, trying to just like hone the craft and make it so when I sit down and I have an idea, I can present the idea.
Keep excelling on that like Goku
Yeah.
level, right? I like it. Okay, final question then. Obviously, people can find you, as you said. How can people find you then? In terms of like your Instagram, do they go to that? Is that the best way to find your music?
Yeah, I would say Instagram's the best. I'm on all the major streaming services: SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Apple. But yeah, Instagram's probably the easiest. Again, just livid dot music.
Awesome.
And yeah, I throw up some short videos of just like 1 minute sketches of beats that are complete or maybe on the back burner, and just to kind of like get it out there without it really like being a commitment, so to speak. And yeah, like I'm really open to collabs or whatever. I've even thought about dabbling in music production lessons.
Okay.
If people wanted to learn, because Ableton is quite a learning curve.
Definitely.
And the concepts that I've learned besides the software of just how to approach making music have been such a learning curve too, because I'm actually not theoretically trained. Like I have no idea how to use a piano.
Oh yeah, so it's okay.
No
Yeah, but I
idea.
mean, now with technology, it's like, do you really need to learn how to use a piano? No.
Yeah, exactly.
You're making wicked sounds and you're doing stuff on your own. Like, yeah, that's awesome. Any big plans for next year, since this year kind of bit the dust for everybody?
Honestly, I'm glad you reached out because I want to do more of this. I was at like 2020 came around and I'm like, yo, this is my year. I'm gonna push live shows. Why? Because going back to what you said before, there was some really good memorable moments actually at Jimmy Jazz, and just creating like those intimate, good dance vibes where people are just like, they're vibing off your stuff. You're getting like a musical high, so to speak. You know, they're having fun, you're having fun, and it just all around good. You can't get that when you're just like, listen to my song on Spotify.
Exactly. Yeah.
So hopefully, like, I'm not even gonna limit it to next year because who knows what's gonna happen. But when it's all said and done and live shows and bars are in full swing, I'm going to be pushing that.
You're going to start pushing that a little harder.
Yeah, totally.
I like it.
And refine the live show. It's a work in progress. It's so hard. How do you present music in a way that's entertaining?
I think you're doing a wicked job of it.
I appreciate that.
I would definitely suggest, as a band guy, do not get more equipment because you don't want to carry it around. Like, I mean, I stopped carrying my amp like years ago because I just refused to do it. It's too heavy.
The best compliment of the night, the gentleman that unlocked the door was like, "That's all the gear you have?" I'm like, "Yep, that's it. Let's go."
Yeah, mess with me. I got my backpack.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna create wicked sounds.
Laptop and a mixer. Let's go.
Yeah, sweet, awesome. Well, it was good talking with you. You got another set coming up. If anybody wants to find them, livid.music on Instagram, and we'll be back after 10 more minutes and get another set off you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh, definitely. Thanks for coming. Peace.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Onyx Talks with Livid Music. He's here to do another set for us, and yeah, enjoy. Jesus. Yo, give it up one more time again for Livid. That was awesome. I love your craft, man. It's so good. So good having you. It's an honor, straight. Anybody you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
I'd like to thank my mom for letting me be here, and
That whole birth thing really helps, eh?
I'd like to thank Theo for having dinner ready at home. And yeah, life's sick. Thanks.
Awesome. Yo, you want to check them out? Livid.music at Instagram. You know, you can check them out there. All this stuff. Graphic designer. Obviously, very talented artist. And yeah, thanks again for coming out. Another Onyx Talks.
Thanks
See you
for
next
having me,
time.
guys.
Peace, everyone.
It's a rough draft for the Dying Soul EP. OurFuture.com. Fuck with it, you feel me? Shit's gonna be crazy when it officially drop. Yeah. OFM.
Yo. The only girl I ever loved. Fuck some nigga that I really hate. And the funny part about it that we didn't even date. But at the end she could still say she got her pussy ate. Yummy in her tummy pour out. Cause cummy in her bummy means that a little me.
This is how we do